So petroleum, which is a crude oil, is a mixture of a hydrocarbon. Petroleum or a crude oil is separated into fractions such as liquefied petroleum gas, petrol or gasoline, naphtha. Name a process used to separate these fractions. So we use a fractional distillation. Fractional distillation is used to separate these fractions. Name one other fraction separated from a petroleum and give a large scale use. So that fraction is a kerosene or a paraffin. And where it is used as a jet fuel. This is having multiple answers. There is no fixed answer for this. You can mention other fractions as well. Petroleum or a crude oil does not contain enough fraction that contain a smaller hydrocarbon such as petrol. Petroleum contain a high proportion of a hydrocarbon molecule such as naphtha. Describe how the demand of a smaller hydrocarbons molecule is satisfied. So how we satisfy so we break down that's right, we break down the large molecule into smaller and the useful fractions by the help of heat or catalyst. So by using cracking, the large molecules break down into smaller useful molecules. So that's how we obtain the smaller molecule, because in a crude oil or a petroleum, we don't find the small molecules proportion higher. It's large molecules proportion is much higher. Then explain by what is the meaning of a term non-biodegradable. The term non-biodegradable means it cannot be decomposed naturally or by bacteria. So cannot decompose or break down naturally. So that is called a non-biodegradable. Biodegradable is opposite, like can be break down naturally by the bacteria. Describe one environmental problem caused by the disposal of a non-biodegradable. What is a disadvantage or a problem which is caused? Basically, it affects the marine life, kill animals, take up the landfills or take up the space in the landfill. Yeah, land pollution is there, leads to or causing a poisonous gas, give out poisonous gas. So release the gases which are poisonous. Land pollution, you can mention incineration, because basically directly it is not releasing. When we burn these non-biodegradable or combustion or a burning, so burning of these non-biodegradable polymer leads to the toxic gases, emission of a toxic gases, or it take up the space, the landfill space also take up. Then we have to draw the partial structure of a polychloroethene and show at least 2 repeat units. So this is chloroethene. How to draw a polymer? Simple way to draw a polymer. Draw the same structure and your monomer same as letter H, resemble with letter H. So this is 1 unit and we draw this another unit and we just link them together. So this is a polymer. So this was a monomer. This one is a polychloroethene. It does not have a double bond. Addition polymer will not have a double bond. It will have a single bond. Then in question 32, the structure of a Propenyl ethanoate. Propenyl ethanoate is there. Use a structure to explain why propenyl ethanoate is unsaturated, because it contains carbon-carbon double bond. What is the test to check the presence of that is unsaturated? We can use aqueous bromine. And what we'll observe it will turn from orange to colorless. Remember, aqueous bromine is orange to colorless. If it is a bromine only liquid, then it is red brown to colorless. So better, aqueous bromine is commonly used in the lab, so write orange to colorless. Name the carboxylic acid used. So which carboxylic? This is a carboxylic acid. 2 carbons are there, so that is eth. Because of 2 carbon, they will have a single bond between them, and due to this group, it will be oic acid. So it is ethanoic acid. The carbon dioxide is a colorless gas found in air. The percentage of a carbon dioxide in the air is increasing. State one environmental problem caused by this increase. So what is the effect of increase in amount of a carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? It can cause a global warming, or it will lead to a greenhouse effect. So the global warming, then carbon dioxide is a product of a complete combustion of octane, C8 and H18. Yeah, climate change you can also mention. So whenever you're writing, 2 marks are there. 1 mark is for completing or writing a correct product, and the second mark is for the balancing. So we have C8, H18 is there. It reacts with oxygen to give carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and plus water, that is H2O. For a combustion equation, we start with carbon followed by hydrogen and at the last oxygen. So start with carbon followed by hydrogen at the last oxygen. So 8 carbon, we put 8, carbon is balanced. Hydrogen 18, so we put 9, it is balanced. What about oxygen? 8 multiplied by 2, 16 plus 9. So that's make 25. So I need 25 here. So how I can 25 by 12.5? Because if 12.5 is multiplied by 2, it will give 25. But we don't balance with a decimal. So whenever we need a decimal to balance the whole equation, we'll multiply all of them by 2. So when we multiply this by 2, so this will become 2. The 12.5 multiplied by 2, this becomes 25. And then 8 multiplied by 2, that becomes 16. And 9 multiplied by 2, that will change to 18. So this is a balance equation for a reaction between butane, octane, and oxygen, combustion of octane. The fermentation of a glucose produce carbon dioxide, give equation for a combustion. So then essential conditions are there. What is the equation for a combustion? So we have a sugar solution or a glucose, which is C6H12O6. It produced ethanol, which is C2H5OH, 2 molecules of ethanol plus 2 molecules of carbon dioxide. So the equation is balanced. Essential conditions for fermentation. So we need absence of oxygen or anaerobic condition in the presence of yeast, and temperature range is there from 10 to 40. So in the presence of yeast, and temperature range is there 10 to even 37, 40, this can occur, and absence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration, there should be no oxygen. Yeah, high concentration of a sugar. In question 34, the fraction distillation and a cracking are the important processes in the conversion of a petroleum or crude oil. Complete a sentence about the petroleum. So what is the petroleum? Petroleum is a mixture It's not an alloy or a compound. It is actually a mixture of different hydrocarbons. Fraction distillation separate the petroleum crude oil into fractions such as paraffin or naphtha. One use of a paraffin or and kerosene, paraffin or kerosene. So that is used as a jet fuel, aircraft fuel. Naphtha fraction is used as a chemical feedstock. One of a hydrocarbon in a naphtha has a molecular formula of C10H22. The flow chart shows some compound that can be made from C10 and H22. So C3H8 is an alkane and C3H6 is an alkene. Explain why in terms of journal formula. So in terms of journal formula, why C3H8 is an alkane? Because the journal formula of alkane is CnH2n plus 2. The number of hydrogen in alkane are always twice plus 2. Where in alkene it is CnH2n, the number of the hydrogen are twice as compared to number of the carbon atoms. So that's why C3H6 is an alkene and C3H8 is alkane. In the presence of ultraviolet light, C3H8 will react with chlorine to give HCl and C3HCl. What type of a reaction occurs with chlorine? So whenever alkane react with chlorine, the reaction is known as substitution reaction. Give a formula of one other product of this reaction. So we have this C3H8 is there, it is reacting with chlorine, so it will produce C3H7Cl plus HCl. That is one. But this reaction is like, it does not stop. Like first we were having C3H8, it was reacting with Cl2 chlorine. A substitution reaction occurs, one chlorine enter, one hydrogen leaves. So as a result, it will produce C3H7Cl plus HCl. That is one thing. Then C3H7Cl can further react with chlorine because this reaction will continue until all of the hydrogen are replaced by chlorine. So what might be a second product? Chlorine will take position of a hydrogen. So another product might be C3H6Cl2 plus HCl. So what is the second other, like give a formula of one other product of this reaction. So that can be C3H6Cl2. And this will continue like C3H6Cl2 plus again Cl2, one chlorine enter, one hydrogen leave. So it will produce C3H5Cl3 plus HCl. So you can write any of them. Describe a color change when C3H6 react with bromine. So because here they did not mention aqueous, so you can mention red to colorless, but normally in lab when we are using a bromine, bromine is not like a pure bromine, it is aqueous bromine. So it's better you write the color change as orange to colorless. Because in the lab we are always using aqueous bromine. Then suggest the possible structure of C4H8. We have to draw a structure of C4H8. So we have 4 carbon atoms because it's an alkene. So 4 carbon atoms are there and it's an alkene. So there will be a double bond. This will have 2 hydrogen. This will have 1 hydrogen. This will have 2 hydrogen and the other one will have 3 hydrogen. So this is a possible structure of butene. Then we have to draw a polymer. So to draw a polymer, first you have to draw a monomer and your monomer should appear like letter H. Like this is butene C2, CH2 double bond CH, then CH2 and then CH3. This is butene. So first to draw a polymer, you should know how your monomer should appear like letter H. So this will be C double bonded C, 2 bonds up, 2 bonds down. So this is a C double bonded to C, like the 2 carbon atoms. This is having 2 hydrogens, so 1 hydrogen up, 1 hydrogen down. And this is having 1 hydrogen, so you can make up or down. And next is CH2 and CH3. So next is CH2 and CH3. So this is a monomer. This is still a monomer. This is not a polymer. Now we want to draw a polymer. In exam, you just have to directly draw a polymer. I'm explaining how it can be done. So now the answer, draw the same structure as the monomer but without a double bond. So this is one unit. This one is a second unit. And we link them together. So this will be the answer for polybutene. So we don't have to draw a monomer for the answer. We just have to draw the polymer. But the reason you should understand the structure of a monomer to draw a polymer. The last question, 35. This question is about the polymers. The polyester and polyamide are both polymer formed by condensation. Define the term condensation reaction. So what is the meaning of condensation reaction? It's a reaction in which the molecule combine, like a small molecule combine to form a large and gives off a water molecule. So the molecules combines to form large structure. The molecules combine to form large structure and the small molecule such as water. So when molecules are combining, they combine with each other, and as a result, they form a large structure and a small molecule. And that small molecule is normally water or HCl are there. So it leads to, this is known as condensation reaction, or reaction in which the small molecules is formed by reaction of a large reaction of two or more molecule is also known as condensation. Then the partial structure of a polyester is shown. This is the structure of polyester on a diagram. Circle the ester linkage. Ester linkage like C double bonded with O. Then draw the structure of two monomer used. So how to draw the structure? Look, first, this part is there. So C double bonded with O. Then there is a box. And the other part is this one, which is O, the shaded region, which is having both sides O. So this is O is there and O. So what we do, we just complete the structure. This is a carbon, because this will be dicarboxylic acid. So this will have OH. And this will be diol, so OH will be there. So these are the monomers which react to form this. So this is one part. This is the other part. This is one part. Like if I shade the region, so this is one part of a molecule, one monomer. This is from other. This is one monomer. And this is from the other. Then thyrylene, which is a polyester, is there. We have to state the common use of a polyester. So where we normally use the polyester, we are using the polyester for clothing. So there are many uses. So fabric or a clothing, we can use this polyester. Then the structure of an amino acid is shown, explained by referring to the group present why polymers with a different linkage can be formed. So why the polymer with a different linkage can be formed? Because it contains amine one side and carboxylic. So that is one, or it's also contain amine and carboxylic acid, alcohol and carboxylic acid. So three different links are there. So if amine, like this group, H2N group, which is amine, combined with COH, the acid group, it will form amide linkage. And the other one, it contains COOH and OH, which can combine to give ester linkage. So that's why two different molecules can be formed when this molecule combined with identical one. Then polyethene is made from ethene as a monomer. Draw the structure of ethene. Show all the bonds and all the atoms. So eth means 2 carbon. We'll draw 2 carbon atoms, and this will have 2 hydrogen. This will also have 2 hydrogen. Now, non-biodegradable, just we mentioned, like the polymers which cannot, like the substance which cannot be broken down by organism, living organism. And the last one, give one pollution caused by disposal of this non-biodegradable polymer. It will cause a land pollution. It will take up the space of the land as landfills are used, and combustion or a burning of these can release a toxic gases which can affect the environment. So this was the mock from organic chemistry, topic 13 to topic 15.